What does it mean to be on mission at work? What does it mean to be the light at work? How should we be loving on our coworkers? My name is Billy Tate, and I am in the middle of a 30 days in front of the camera challenge, and this is going to be day 11. And this is where I am taking 5 to 10 minutes every single day for the next 30 days to talk to this camera and get in front of it and get more comfortable presenting information and talking to this camera and helping myself to develop a relationship with you and build this audience. And I thought that would be an interesting topic. I'm self-employed. I'm a subcontractor for different businesses. And I thought it would be good to talk about what it means to be on mission at work. You know, for me, the goal is living out my faith, being the light, always having a great attitude and a thankful attitude, and giving thanks to the one who provides for me, who provides for all of us in the workplace. And that's been a very interesting change for me over the last 11 years. I've been able to build relationships in this latest business that you would never think even possible. I work within the car business, and I work behind the scenes in the car business, and everything you've ever heard or thought about, you know, with the car business and the types of people that you stereotypically would think of with that is the complete opposite. They're some of the most loving, caring, most supportive people that I know. Does that mean that it's perfect? No. Listen, there's a little bit of raunchy talk and joking and ribbing of the guys. It's, you know, men working on cars doing men stuff. So there's going to be a little bit of that stuff in there. But I really openly try to live out my faith and give thanks to the one who's put me in the position to have the business and provides for me every single day. And it's really been kind of unique. I want to, you know, tell a couple of unique stories. I had a competition company come in and offer an all-in-one service for doing reconditioning of the vehicles, and one of their services was the service that I provide, and they came in at a cheap price and undercut me, and I did not know the owners of that business, although I had been there for 7-8 years. And I got a phone call while my wife and I were on vacation and was told basically that I was let go as of that week. And this other company came and took that in. Let me speed the story up. About 3 months later, we're into it. Things are starting to recover. I'm going out and getting new accounts. Everything is fine. In the meantime, I had gone back in and I'd thanked the used car director for the time that we did have, and just wanted to let them know that we didn't have any hard feelings, and that if they ever need anything more from me, just to give me a call and I'll always be there for them. And they thanked me for that. And, you know, said that it was, you know, they don't get a lot of people that come in and do that. And that he was very grateful for the time and the service that I was able to provide. Well, about 3 months later, the company that had taken over the account, they were trying to do too much for too little, and things were starting to drop through the cracks. And that same manager that I went and talked to and thanked for giving me the time that we did have together called me back and said that I was back on. And not only was I back on, but they gave me a raise. And when I got back there the first month, there was enough volume because the work wasn't getting done that I pretty much made up at least half of the money that I had lost during that time. And I was just so grateful that God provided and looked out for me and was able to give me the opportunity to come back. And I really attribute to that to the Spirit being within me and me being on mission and giving thanks to where it needed to be, which was to God. To speed the story up a little bit, the guy still stayed there and did some other things there, but I got to know him and start to talk to him. And I never brought it up and never brought it up that, he took my business and I lost my business. And trust me, it crossed my mind. I had resentment against this guy, and I had to do a lot of praying to God in order to work through that. But it's just so funny how the Spirit works and how God worked in that situation, because lo and behold, I start talking to this guy and I find out that he's suffering. He just went through a real horrible heart attack, was going through a divorce. His business was imploding. And I just stopped and I prayed with him. This guy got me kicked off the lot. And God, just the Spirit moved me to stop and pray with this guy. And it touched him deeply. And I don't even know, if it dawned on him that it made me lose my business. That didn't enter the conversation, and I'm not speaking for him. But we still talk 2 times a week, and I get to pray for this man on a regular basis and ask him how he's doing. And all of that resentment and all of that anger that I had towards what had happened to me professionally went away. And believe it or not, the guy's actually been looking for extra accounts for me at this point, and we've developed a bond. To me, that's being on mission at work. I have another situation with another manager at one of the stores that, he was going through where his girlfriend left him, and he's been struggling with his son and trying to keep control of him and be a dad to him, as it is tough for teenagers these days. And I get the opportunity to pray with him. And he thanked me the next few times that we talked on the phone. It really resonated with him, and he thanks me for taking the time and being a friend. And these people aren't just people that I work with, and they're not just a paycheck to me. These are relationships. I've always said that I can train a monkey to run my machine, that my business is all about relationships, and I'm a firm believer in that. And since I started walking with God, that's just really been such an upfront part of that belief system. And I spend all day out there on the car lot listening to worship music, thanking God, that I have this work and all of that. And I get the opportunity to talk about Jesus probably, as much, if not more, than some people that actually work in the church. And I'm with a bunch of men doing man stuff, getting dirty, and, where you would think it was all raunch and out of control guys. It's not. It's guys leaning on each other, opening up, having a solid friendship, having discussions about God. I've got another guy that's the dent guy here in town. Him and I actually, we have to physically tell ourselves we need to separate, because if we don't, we'll sit there and talk about Jesus all day long. I always joke with my wife about that, and Brandon always tells me, he goes, that that's okay. That's what we're supposed to be doing. And, I don't think God's upset with us. And, it's just living out my faith and being honest in my work and being on time and actually pouring into these people. God has rewarded that. And it's not that I'm doing that because I think God's going to reward me. I'm doing that because I'm so grateful that God's given me the opportunity to be self-employed, to be around these people, that these people feel comfortable enough to open up. They know that, I'm a man of God and I'm involved with the church, and, I've studied the Bible and all of that stuff. And so I get a lot of questions about Jesus, and I get a lot of questions about how to deal with certain situations. And having that opportunity to be the Spirit is just, or not be the Spirit, but that opportunity to be the light that, through the Spirit that God gives me, is fruit that I don't think that I would get if I didn't have that willingness to say, God, here I am. I'm going to go on mission. I'm going to give you guys a couple of Bible verses that I looked up to express what God says about being on mission in the workplace. And I'm in Matthew, looks like I'm in Matthew 5, verse 16. It says, "In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to the Father who is in heaven." You see, I go out and go on mission rather than go to work. The work is the blessing that God gives me while I'm out there on mission, answering the call to the Spirit. And I want these same folks to have that same peace. And I want them to give glory to God and believe in God and know that He's there for them like He's been there for me. We got one more that's going to be Colossians 3:23. It says, "Whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men." And that's what Paul is saying is, when we go to work, we're not just going to work, we're on mission. We should be doing that to the glory of God and the standard that God puts. And if we do that, guys, the blessings of the world will follow. People will notice that. That'll make you stand out. That'll make you different. That will make you more than just a coworker, more than just a guy that comes and fixes the windshields. You become a part of their lives. And when you walk with God, that inherently makes God part of their lives. And to me, guys, that's what it's about to be on mission. That's what it's about to be the light. And that's the way that I choose to do my work. And I want to bring that same tenacity to this, which is going to be my 7th career. This is because of God, and I want to give Him the glory. So that's the end of day 11, guys. I thank you for coming in and spending time with me. Go down and check it out. There's a whole playlist here for this series. We're on day 11, so there's 10 more videos that you can go back down there and watch. Not real sure what we're going to do tomorrow. I think we're going to do a little bit of motorcycle riding tomorrow. Then I got church in the evening and church on Sunday morning. But guys, catch me back here for day 12. And I hope you have a fantastic day. And God bless.